Welcome to this week's episode of Boardwalk Social Club live stream concert series. Today's episode, the theme is books about music. This is one that Dan Mulvey just sent me this week, the autobiography of Dave Von Ronk, folk singer from New York City, like the early days of when Bob Dylan got started. Yeah, this was a really good book. It was great. I really enjoyed it. Read it in one day, So, yeah, this one had a lot of good stories about Bob Dylan, but other old blues guys, especially. He took lessons and hung out with Reverend Gary Davis, and that was the biggest influence on his style. That was the page I just opened up to while we're having technical difficulties. So maybe I'll play a Reverend Gary Davis song. Have no mercy in this land. Death don't have no mercy in this land. Yeah, they'll come to your house and it won't stay long. Look at the road, somebody will be gone. Death don't have no mercy in this land. Yeah, death always in a hurry in this land. Death always in a hurry in this land. Yeah, come to your house and it won't stay long. Look down the road, somebody will be gone. Death don't have no mercy in this land. Take no vacation in this land. Death don't take no vacation in this land. Yeah, you'll come to your house and it won't stay long. Look in the bed when your family will be gone. Death don't have no mercy. Alright, we'll move through this stack of books. Okay, what's next? Muddy Waters book. This was a biography written by somebody else. This was a really good, well-researched. I Can't Be Satisfied. This is a great one. I like Muddy Muddy Waters stories. But I think the best biography is the one about Bob Marley, Catch a Fire, by Timothy White. That's a great book. All right, these are the autobiographies. Here's the three main ones. There's Keith Richards' life, Bob Dylan Chronicles, and Bruce Springsteen's Maybe We Were Born to Run. Those I think are the best. Those are my favorite books of autobiographies by musicians. Those are great, all really great. Bob Dylan might be the best. He's the best wordsmith, you know, best guy with words. Keith Richards might have the best stories, though. You know, a funny thing, in each of them, like, there's a little section where they'll explain how to play something, you know, and Keith Richards one is really good. He says how, he explains how Bobby Goldsboro taught him how Jimmy Reed plays the 5 chord, which is pretty fascinating. Instead of going, he doesn't hit the B, he just with the open A, which was a mysterious thing to Keith Richards, but when he figured it out, anyway, he spends quite a bit of paragraph space explaining that, which is pretty fascinating. And then in this one, Bob Dylan spends like 5 pages describing the Lonnie Johnson mathematical school of playing or soloing, which it totally escaped me. I couldn't figure it out. I read it over and over, but I didn't. And then I asked Billy Hector, I said, did you read that part about the, you know, and he couldn't figure it out either. But I think it was, I'm sure it's really, Billy said, oh, he's just messing with it, but I think every other thing in this book is so honest and smart. It's just beyond me. All right, so then those are the top 3, and then I think, and then this one was really good, Testimony. Robbie Robertson, his book's really, you know, another great one is Levon Helm, Wheels on Fire. Those are all great books. Those guys are all natural storytellers with being around at the right time, stories, you know. Really enjoyed that Testimony. This one I read at the beginning of our never-ending quarantine witness protection program, whatever it is. So anyway, here's a song I wrote after reading this book. I don't know why, because it's some kind of name-dropping rock and roll thing to it is the reason. We're on the side of the planet. Yeah, when I first had the idea, we're on the side of the planet, I thought it'd be some kind of serious song. We're on the side of the earth. But then, these were the lyrics. We were on the side of the planet. We were on the side of the earth. Look on the bright side if you're on the right side of the earth. We were on the side of the planet. We were on the side of the earth. Look on the bright side if you're on the right side of the earth. Matty told Show Fat Fanny, Fanny told Linda Lou. Janet's on the side of the planet with Jenny, Joan, and who knows who. Judy Balloon and Balloon, all the guitar went to. Delta, Stilta, Jimmy Shelter, all the dog wild. We're on the side of the planet. We're on the side of the earth. Look on the bright side if you're on the right side of the earth. Sonny Kenny Band on Winnie, playing at the county fair. Lazy Lester, Crazy Chester, automatic Snoopy there. Dizzy Miss Lizzie look busy. stairs, slots, big bowl, they be coming back for it. We're on the side of the planet, we're on the side of the earth. Look on the bright side if you're on the right side, the right side of the earth. We're on the side of the planet, we're on the side of the earth. Look on the bright side, we're on the right side, right side of the earth. Lazy Lester, Crazy Chester, that's why. That's the reason it reminded me of this book. Okay, moving right on. Oh, this was a great one. Maybe my favorite one of recently, of the second tier. You know, these three ones, Bob Dylan, Keith Richards, Bruce, they'll never be topped. But then there's like all these other great ones by like Robbie Robertson and Stevie Van Zandt. This one was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. You know, there's something about seeing like people and places that you know and recognize in books, and there's a lot of local stories in this one. Anyway, here's my favorite page. He's talking about producing this album that I really like, The Archangels, and happened to, he's talking about his like Jersey Shore blues credentials. Anyway, this is my favorite part of the whole book. I didn't bother to explain that by the time he was 6 years old, I had learned, absorbed, and used on stage every guitar lick on every album by Muddy Waters, Little Walter, Sonny Boy Williams and Two, Howlin' Wolf, Elmore James, Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, B.B. King, Albert King, T-Bone Walker, Jimmy Rogers, Jimmy Reed, Hubert Sumlin, Charlie Patton, Robert Johnson, Son House, Fred McDowell, Lightning Hopkins, Slim Harpo, Blind Willie Johnson, Blind Lemon Jefferson, Reverend Gary Davis, John Lee Hooker, Otis Rush. And the only licks I hadn't played were Freddie King's, and that's because he pulled a gun on me when I was a kid. Yeah, anybody that can write a paragraph like that is all right in my book. Speaking of books, yeah, I love this one. This was great, really great book. And then I never had watched Lilyhammer before reading this, and we went back and watched that. That was great too. I love that. That's my favorite show because of Norway. And him, he was great. Really loved it. All right, what am I doing? I guess I could play a song related to that, but can't think of any. Yeah, amazing stories in that one. What else? Yeah, the Bruce Springsteen also had great stories of, you know, local people and places, I remember. Big Danny stories, Big Danny Gallagher's in there. Richie Blackwell. Vinny Lopez. Oh, happy birthday. Yeah, I'll play Happy Birthday to Vinny Lopez. Yeah, I will. I'll play Happy Birthday to Vinny Lopez because I can play the hell out of that song. Whoops. Yeah, so he's in the Bruce book, of course, and then stories of Tinker and just places, you know, Homedale, the house on Telegraph Hill Road. What else? Yeah, this was a great one. The Bruce book is great, really great, amazing. I heard he was at Danny Clinch's yesterday. Anyway, the way it ends is really, like, yeah, it's amazingly, it ends like his play on Broadway was based on the book, which that was great too. So ends with a story about a tree. I won't give it away, but it ends with a story about a tree, and then a childhood tree that he loved that had been cut down by the Monmouth County commissioners, and his reaction, and then the Lord's Prayer. Now you never see the Lord's Prayer in this book, Keith Richards' book, which really I loved. This is my favorite one. I read this in one marathon session, which meant staying away for quite a while. It was great. I loved it. Really loved this book. I mean, this is the Bible of rock and roll. Yeah, I love the Keith Richards book. I mean, besides explaining how, Jimmy Reed plays the 5-chord, there's so many great stories, and then he doesn't make a big deal about anything. That's the thing. Like the guys, the real major guys like Bob Dylan, Bruce, they're the best part of their stories is when they were starting out, and that's the part they write them most enthusiastically about, and have the best memories of. And then the huge things that happen to them, meeting presidents or whatever, they barely, they barely mention that stuff. But then when like somebody smaller, if he mentions, if he meets the president, of course he's going to make a whole big deal about it. But yeah, these guys, it's their early days that they're the most, that they like to tell us stories about the most, which I guess is true of people when they get older, Some guys will never write books. I can't see Mick Jagger writing a book. Not because he couldn't, but just because it would, I don't know. Some people value the mystique more. Some people are just better with words, and telling stories. Stories are a big part of music, and these guys are all great storytellers, natural storytellers. Let me think of some other ones. Dr. John's book. That one was again great storytelling, but some disturbing stories. That was like some mangy business, Jack, in New Orleans. Who else wrote some good ones? Yeah, I even read the ones by bands that I don't even like, Guns N' Roses, that guy, the bass player, he wrote a good book. That was great. Duff. I don't like Guns N' Roses, but yeah, I like them. I just like biographies. When I was a little kid, I read all the biographies in our school library. I realized that I had gotten like halfway through them, and I just said, it's funny, I read all the men once, and then I started on the women, like Amelia Earhart and Florence Nightingale, whatever. I always like biographies, really like them. Especially music ones. I'm such a sucker for them. I buy and read every one. And magazines, music magazines. Yeah, I'm really a sucker for that stuff. All right, what should I play instead of talking so much? Here's one. This is one I started this instrumental last week. Harmonica instrumental thing that I came up with the idea of calling it the Black Flamingo. That was a funny idea because there's a band down the street, the Black Flamingos. I was going to give it to those guys. But then I thought of Black Flamingo, it almost, those would be decent lyrics, something. If Black Flamingo fits into that, like syllable-wise. So that's what I did, like right after last week's thing, I made up this new version of it. Katie helped me make this up. Let's see if it's not really done yet, but it's the one that goes like this. special bird. It's the legend of the black flamingo. It's a legend of a special bird. Only comes out at night, only when conditions are right. There is a legend of a special bird. It's the legend of the black flamingo. It's the legend of a special bird. Only comes out at night, only when conditions are right. Black flamingo only flies at night. Conditions must be right. Only flies at night. Conditions must be right. Look up, look up, look up, it's the black flamingo. Look up, look up, look up, it's the black flamingo. The legend of the special bird. It's the legend of the black flamingo. It's a legend of a special bird. Only comes out at night, only when conditions are right. Black flamingo only flies at night. So anyway, that's a new song. I guess it's a new song. Legend of the Black Flamingo. Might have to flesh that one out a little bit, turn it in, maybe tell some story about it. Make up what the legend of the Black Flamingo is. Right now, I think my idea, I know it's a bar in Brooklyn, and it's a name of a surf rock band down the street. But then those wouldn't do. We have to come up with some better legend of a group woman or thing. My idea is to make it. It's the legend of Black Flamingo is when conditions are right, when a band is playing at a concert or a bar or whatever, backyard, or in a house or wherever, and then they're joined by the Black Flamingo, which is the like a vibe or a mood that sets it apart as a special occasion. That's the legend of the Black Flamingo. Alrighty. What the heck? What's next? That might be enough about books and my new song. Yeah, I don't usually do unfinished songs, but that was pretty good the way it is. And here's another one that's almost done. MJ came up with a bridge to it, so I have to work that out. But this is my other big idea. Where would you go? Postmaster general. I must ask you this, must ask you when did my letter go? Yeah, checking in the mailbox, checking for a check. Checking in the mailbox, checking double check. Checking in the mailbox, checking for a check. I got a question for the mailbox. Ask you where the heck little in my check. Postmaster, Postmaster General. I must ask you, where did my letter go? Mailbox. Asking what the heck I check. Postmaster, Postmaster General. I must ask you, where did my letter go? Postmaster, Postmaster General. Ask you this, must ask you where did my letter go? Yeah, that's another new one. Postmaster General. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Sorry I had such a hard time getting it started with the... I don't know how to work things. So, thanks for watching this episode about the books, music books. I can't remember. Oh, happy birthday to Grammy Pammy. She sent me an interesting one about a local musician in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That was a good one. Yeah, I like the ones of just like normal guys too. They're not geniuses. Alrighty. Yeah, thanks for watching these things whenever you watch them or whoever watches them. Whether it's live or MRX, whatever. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Okay, what else is happening? What's new? Nothing. Nothing new.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks, Katie, for turning this on and off.